Hi everyone. Hello. You're very welcome to our BSL session this morning. My name is Anthony. I am your BSL tutor for today. And as always, we have an interpreter translating from British Sign Language into spoken English. Hope everyone is well. As you know, I'm based in Belfast, but today I'm actually in the south of Ireland in a place called Galway. It's in the sort of west of Ireland, southern Ireland. It's a beautiful place, but unfortunately it's raining today. And I'm here today because my son has a tennis tournament. So he's actually through to the semi-final of the tournament. We drove down and he's a bit nervous, but hopefully he'll do well. Hopefully he'll start playing in about 1 hour's time. Hope everyone's weather is better where you are and where you live. Briefly, let me explain, if it's first time for joining us, then let me explain what we do. I've been teaching British Sign Language or BSL since COVID, every 2 weeks with the Royal Voluntary Service. And usually what we do is at the beginning of the academic year, we start again afresh every year. And we cover the alphabet, we cover greetings, things like hello, how are you, what is your name? And then we build that up to conversation level every 2 weeks. And then at the end of the academic year, we get to the last session, which is where we're at today, the end of the academic year. So hopefully that makes sense to everyone. And if you're one of our regulars, it's great to have you with us again, as always. I'm sure if you are one of our regulars, you've built up lots of confidence with your knowledge of sign language now over the weeks. And so when you meet a deaf person, you will be amazed at yourself and how fluent you have become and how you're able to have a conversation. Of course, the first time you meet someone, it can be a little bit difficult. There are regional signs, of course, to deal with. There is generational differences between what older deaf people and younger deaf people use. There's facial expressions to contend with. Older deaf people tend to use a lot more finger spelling. So I think there's a lot of richness there in our language and our community. So it is really good to meet deaf people. Don't panic. Your time will come. You will build up your language skills and your confidence as you start to converse with them. And the more you talk to them, the more you will learn. So the plan for this morning's session is as follows. We are going to talk about holidays because we're coming into July and August. People will be heading off on their holidays. Or if you're staying in your home location and you're holidaying nearby, then you may want to go to the beach or you may be going camping. So I'm going to teach you some signs relevant for the holidays. Let me explain again that I'm based in Belfast in Northern Ireland. So there are some regional signs that I would use that are different from the majority. Now, 80% probably of the UK use the main signs and the majority of them the same, but colours, numbers, things like that, 20% of vocabulary is different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on the most common in the areas that we have people joining from, and that's the majority of people are from England. If you do want to learn any more signs, please use the chat box or the comment box. If you have any questions linked to deaf culture or what I'm doing or sign language or anything, please just use the chat box. As always, we encourage you to do that. So if you're ready, let's make a start. So the sign for holiday, 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 holiday. And summer, summer. And this is booking a holiday. So to book a holiday, it sounds like this. Book a holiday. So that's book a holiday. Now I'm going to teach you a little bit of the countries and counties, and I know we've done this before, but if there's a country that specifically that you're going to and you want to know the sign for, please just ask. Good morning, Joan. Good to have you with us again. Bit chilly where you're based today. And Kellyanne, good to have you back with us. And you almost forgot, only you needed the phone reminder. Brilliant that you're with us again this morning. Okay, so some different countries. We have covered some of these before, but let's do them again. So England, Scotland, Ireland, then Wales. Now, there are different regional variations of this sign. Some places you'll see it sound like this. I think somewhere signs it like this as well, but the sign that I prefer to use is this. Wales. And France. 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 And if you look at this, this is the sort of, it's the T shape, but it's a hard country to make. And that is the sign for Spain. Spain. So it's the T shape and then a little twist up here. Germany. Italy. And the Netherlands. And there's America. Okay, so let's repeat those countries that we've learned so far. First time with a voiceover, and then second and third, just follow along. Holiday. Summer. Book. A holiday. And the sign for country. So where are you going? Where are you going? England. Scotland. Wales. Ireland. France. and Spain. And Italy. Germany. And the Netherlands. America. Excellent. Now, we finished talking about where we're going, but let's talk about where we are staying. Hotel. So that's the sign for a hotel. Camping. Camping. Apartment. Apartment. Or a flat. Flat. A villa. Villa. Or just a house. Maybe an Airbnb, for example, or just a house. House. Okay, so let's repeat the accommodation signs again. Where we're staying would be a hotel. An apartment. Or a flat. Camping. Camping. A villa. Or a house. Actually, there are a few more things that I forgot to add. Caravan, perhaps. Caravan. Camper van. Camper van. And I'm staying in my camper van here in Galway. Okay, so we are finished with those signs relating to accommodation. Now let's talk about location, whereabouts we're staying. Near the beach. The beach. Or the sea, on the seaside. The sea. The mountains. Mountains. Lake. Lake. Or in a resort, perhaps. Same sign as hotel. So you might be staying in a resort. In a forest. Forest. Or a city. City. Okay, so let's repeat these location signs. Beach. Sea. Mountains. Lake. A resort. A city. Good. So if you've got any plans for holidays or you're going anywhere nice, tell me where you're going. Use the chat box. Tell me where you're going. So we have learnt some countries. We have learnt how to sign where we're going, where we're staying, the location. And now we will learn about how we get there. So what method of travel are we using? Car. Car. Oh, lovely. Mary, you're going to a cottage in Scotland. So cottage, we can sign cottage like this. Some people sign it like this, cottage or cottage. Lovely. Scotland is lovely. Oh, wow. Kellyanne is just back from Corfu. So that's a sign for Greece. So Greece or Corfu. But the islands, that's a sign for island. The island of Corfu, so a Greek island. You really would have to spell the sign for Corfu. So remember our vowels were A, E, I, O, U. So it's C, O, R, F, U. So lovely. I've never actually been to Corfu. Should I go there? let me know. I have been to one of the other Greek islands, but never to Corfu. So that'd be interesting to think about. Let me know if it's a good place. I'm sure it's very, very warm at this time of year. Sorry, my son is just asking me something there. Okay, so let's go back to what were we learning? We had covered countries, we have covered where we're staying, location, and transport. Okay, so we had said this was by car or by bus, bus, and train, airplane, on a cruise perhaps, or by ferry, same sign, cruise or by ferry. Okay, so let's repeat those again. So that's travel methods, how we're getting there. By car, by bus, by train, by airplane, we're going perhaps on a cruise, or by ferry, or maybe just walking, maybe on a walking holiday. I know maybe you're not going to walk too far, but maybe just walking. Okay, so we have now covered transport methods. Yeah, Kellyanne, I'm sure it was. As she said, it was 30 plus degrees. Lovely for swimming in the sea though, but very, very warm. And hello, Heather. Good to have you with us. And you're from County Fermanagh. Kesh, what a lovely area. Beautiful area. Lovely lakes of Fermanagh. Not too far away from us. Okay, so now let me think. We have covered food topics earlier in the season. We've talked about whether things are cheap or expensive. So we've got some of those signs we can refresh on. So this is expensive, or cheap. A deal, a good deal, or perhaps a cheap deal, good cheap deal, or you can just sign that for a good deal if it signifies that it's a cheap deal. Memories. So this sign, if you watch carefully, memory, good memories. Good memories. Brilliant or fantastic. Both signs are the same, just different lip patterns. Fantastic, brilliant. Fantastic holiday. I hope not. Maybe an awful holiday, but hopefully no one has that experience. An awful holiday. Awful. So remember I taught you before that this little finger is a negative sign. The thumbs up is a positive, so that's good or great or anything fantastic. The thumbs up means good, brilliant, always very positive, well done, congratulations. All those signs use the thumbs up. And the little finger like this is more negative, so awful or bad or terrible. Criticize, fight, all those negative signs use the little baby finger. So maybe an awful holiday. Awful holiday. Now we'll talk about with who. Who are you going on holiday with? Your family. So that's the F, and then the circular sign for family or friends. Some regional signs will differ. You'll see friends in some areas signed like this, or friends. So with who? My family. With who? With my friends. With who? With my family or my friends. Okay, so I'm going to repeat those again. Expensive. Holiday. An expensive holiday. Cheap. A cheap holiday. Good deal. Good memories. Good memories. Fantastic memories. Brilliant memories. Awful holiday. Awful holiday. Fantastic time. Okay, so hopefully everyone enjoyed our holiday theme today. And well done everyone for joining along. First of all, as always, I want to say a massive thank you to Royal Voluntary Service for letting me teach during this academic year, to all areas of the UK who have joined in. I want to thank you to our interpreter as well, giving up her time every 2 weeks, joining us. And last and most importantly, thank you all for your time in joining our sessions and your interest in learning sign language. So important for the deaf community. You make a massive difference to us to be able to communicate with us and make life so much more inclusive for us. So thank you so much. And I hope you all have a lovely summer. Take care, and I will see you all again in September. Bye for now, everyone.